Well, hi there. Thanks for tuning in. I figured I've run this G35 for 11 years now. I bought it new in 2005. Absolutely love it. It's just been a great car. If it wasn't, I would sell it. So I figured it's time for me to give back. Some of the extensive work I've done on the car myself would be installing a clutch, which I actually didn't know how to do, and I found a video on YouTube, so it helped me out. So I've done, basic maintenance to this car, and now I decided to make a YouTube video on actual repair work, because I didn't see one for coil packs out there, and I kind of wanted to let you guys know the little secret that I found about being able to tell when you have a misfire how it is the coil pack. Okay, with me, luckily for me, I was able to have up rev, so I was able to go ahead and do a I was able to look at Cipher, and I could tell when your car has a misfire. There's a couple things that it could be, right? It could be your car has a vacuum leak, or it could be your mass airflow sensor. So I know I didn't have a vacuum leak because I checked, and a lot of my tubes are actually been replaced with, I think it's aluminum rubber, so a vacuum leak was highly unlikely, unless it was to be the 5/16 gasket down here around the plinium from Motordyne, but I doubt it. That was it. I mean, you could hear. So when I looked on up rev, I could tell I was above 1 volt on the mass airflow sensor, so I knew that wasn't bad. So after that, it's the coil pack, right? So here's my coil packs actually removed, and here's how I was able to tell. Even though, because at first it'll tell you just have a random misfire, and then it eventually tells you which cylinder it is. Sometimes it doesn't. But what I found out is, because I've replaced coil packs a couple times here, is when they do go bad, you'll see this huge blister. Let's see if I can get the light on this. See that blister on the side? There. See a bulge? A normal coil pack don't have that bulge. So it gave me a misfire. And since my car is tuned, and when I got the misfire, you could smell gas really bad because of the test pipes. So you could definitely know the car starts to idle like it's basically a diesel. It sounds like shit. You know immediately. So after I pulled out here's the inside of my cylinder walls, which I was pretty happy to tell you there was no oil inside of each one of them. So if you start to have oil inside, down in the spark plug holes, it's time to go ahead and get your valve covers replaced. So as you look down in each one of these, for me, if I can get this light to work, we're good. There's my big bore throttle body from NWP. Now let's look at these coil packs side by side. I'm trying to be able to illustrate the bulge I'm talking about. It looks like a blister. It'll basically get a blister on the side of it, like this. So yeah, there's a method that they talk about online where you can swap out coil packs and put it in a different spark plug hole, but then you have to rig up your own air intake on that side, and just to validate it. What I've come to find out, yeah, you can do that, but it's a lot more work. When you actually just look at the coil packs, the one that's bad will most likely have a blister on it. It looks like a blister. It's the best way to explain it. So you already know which one is bad. I went ahead and replaced all of them. And here's another thing. Here's another little part of the secret. The secret is the blister helps you know which coil pack it is. And O'Reilly's Auto Parts. You buy their coil packs, they come with a lifetime warranty. It means if they ever go bad, they replace it for free. So that's what I do. These coil packs have been replaced before. So the car's got 145,000 miles on it. So this would be my second set of coil packs. They go out, it's pretty average, about 80,000 miles. You need a new set of coil packs. And usually coil packs are pretty temperamental. You start to think it could be a vacuum leak, could be a mass airflow sensor, it's everything else. It's usually, when it's the misfire, it's the coil pack, is what I've come to find out on the VQ35DE, which would be on your 350z or your G35. I happen to have the rev up with a little bit more power. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show. And if you look here, I actually got each coil pack out, and you can look in my cylinder walls, and they have no oil in them. So if you see oil in them, which is common, that means you need a new valve cover gasket. And the cylinders go in a certain firing order. So right here would be cylinder 1, 3, and 5. So the odds are on the passenger side and the evens on the driver's side. So it's 1, 3, and 5, 2, 4, and 6, or you can look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the firing order. So when it tells you which cylinder it is, you know. If it's cylinder number 2, it's up here. It's on the driver's side. Cylinder number 3, it's right there. So cylinder 6 is common to have oil in it. So let's go over here and check and see if I got oil in cylinder number 6. There's cylinder 2, spotless. Cylinder 4, if this light would work, it is spotless. And cylinder 6, spotless. So that's kind of my video I wanted to share. And just show you the coil packs are pretty simple to replace, and hopefully that helps with your headaches on getting check engine light, random misfire, P0300, P0301, which is cylinder 1, and it repeats. So it's 302 at cylinder 2, P0304, which would be cylinder 4. So that's how the coding kind of works on that. Alrighty. And then I'll probably edit in me clearing the codes on uprev at the end of this to show that it's done. I left this out, so I'll just edit this back in. I forgot to talk about the wiring harness. So the wiring harness, what you're going to want to do is when you're pulling out on the driver's side, obviously these clips kind of clip it down. You need to, I don't want to get any dirt down in this cylinder wall holes. You're going to have to take the bolts off of this one and back here to be able to move it. What I found is important is you want to label the cylinders, because here's cylinder 2 wire and this is the cylinder 6. So you got to be very careful of which ones you're pulling out when you unclip them. And cylinder number 4 is this one right here I didn't label. So I know the 2 blues, blue in the front, blue in the back with the tape, but I actually put the number on it, a 2 and a 6. So when you're going to plug back in the coil packs, I'm going to grab a coil pack actually. So when you're sticking a coil pack back down in the hole like chair, like this, you want to make sure you have the right connector off the wiring harness plugging into that coil pack. So I labeled these just in case, because I had a coil pack when mine actually went bad. I was at Laguna Beach and I did it on the side of the road, which, yeah, it is what it is. I'd much rather have had to go out at the garage, but I wasn't paying somebody $800 to replace a coil pack. They're out of their mind. Okay, I figured I should mention the spark plugs also, even though I'm doing the coil packs. The spark plugs will not come pre-gapped, so you're going to want to use this little tool here to gap your plugs right around. The spec on it is 0.043. Also, you want to make sure you put some anti-seize on the plugs, because it is an aluminum block, and these plugs are also aluminum, so they can seize. So all you do is, I've already got this unscrewed, I just pull this out of the cylinder hole. And as you can see, these plugs are in fairly good shape since I just had them in. I recommend using the magnetic spark plug puller. You can buy the rubber one, it's a little cheaper. The problem is it only lasts for like 5 plugs, and then the rubber grommet kind of just fails. So I find this magnetic one actually just worth the money. So it's pretty simple. You just pull it out. I believe the torque on these holes is 15 to 21 pound-feet. And how you do that is you make sure you use your wrist. So at the top of the ratchet, so in other words, you're not getting enough leverage at the bottom of the ratchet to overstrip the bolts. So just keep your hand at the very top of the ratchet and turn it till it's about snug, and you should be good. Okay. Okay, I showed you the old-fashioned way to put the spark plug in if you didn't have an actual torque wrench. The problem is they want 15 pound-feet to 21 pound-feet, and my torque wrench doesn't go that low, so I have an inch pound-foot, which make sure you use an inch pound-foot on this, okay, or else you will strip these. And if you convert 15 pound-foot to inches, it's 180 inches, foot-pound. I think it is 180 inches. 180 foot-pound inches. Sorry. Got it there. And then that's how you know to go ahead, and that's what the torque should be on your spark plugs. So you can do it the old-fashioned way, where you just put your wrist up at the top and turn till it basically stops. But since I've been doing this long enough, I like to do it with the torque wrench, so I can actually be precise. So I'm exactly at where it needs to be with 180 inch foot-pounds. Alright, I got each coil pack installed, as you can see. Just thought I would show what they look like installed in case you need for reference. One. Alright, it's time to go ahead and use UpRev or Cipher. The UpRev cord you can get right here that you can plug into your OBD2, and this is how you can clear codes. You can do Cipher logs. This cable allows you to see basically a whole bunch of different parameters of your engine. Actually 20 parameters at a time, but a lot. But that's a little bit too much info for this coil pack review. So let me power on my laptop. Okay, here's Cipher. We have the key turned on to the on position. We're going to click connect the vehicle. If I can hold this steady. So now we're going to clear the trouble codes, the Misfire, which I had already done. So you would just hit clear. Looks like we're good. Okay, we're going to do a little log here when I fire it up. We're going to hit monitor and record ECU parameters. The little trick down here I didn't know is if you click performance logging, that allows you to do your 0 to 60 time, and you just come to a standstill, and then once you launch, it'll automatically start recording. But right now, we're going to take a look at the motor and see how everything's running. I'm going to fire it up after the coil pack replacement and spark plugs. So let's go ahead and give this beast a little fire up here. Here you got intake temperature, like a coolant temperature, ignition, my oil temperature, mass airflow. Another thing too is it didn't select it. My air to fuel ratio is not on there for some reason. It became unselected for some reason. Let me select that. Hit next. So we're set at 14.7, just like we're supposed to be for stoichiometric on the airflow. Air to fuel ratio, I should say, not airflow. It's 14 parts air to 1 part fuel. So we got intake temperature. See how it's 14.6, 14.6. It's bouncing around, it'll bounce around. Coil pack sounds great. Alright, we'll do the official test here with a little cracking the motor down. Yeah, sounds like she works perfect. Gotta love the shockwave. Nothing sounds better. Well, that finishes it for the coil pack replacement. Hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.